Hi, everybody. I am Andra Annette, and I am here with my co-host, CJC Boyd, and this is Healing from the Inside Out. So today, I want to talk a little bit about that reprieve, that recalibration, and really honing in on your own energy and rebooting it when you need to. So I said I would put a message on Facebook today. I always do these tips, and I said, going out of town. You're getting recipes this week. Have fun with that. But I don't want to be on social. So I'm not going away to take stress and stuff with me. And social media is stressful. It is. Working on social media isn't easy because you're not just dealing with your personality, you're dealing with everyone's personality. And sometimes that's not always easy. So I want to leave that behind and just really go and recharge, do a little inner work. I'm going with a friend, and we are going to work on clarity in our business, which way we want to move forward, because I've been expanding my things. So yeah. So, but you do need that energy. And I feel like at this stage in my life where I really should be slowing down, retiring, and doing all those things people are talking about, that I have more energy. And there's so much more I want to do with the time I have left here, that I'm working twice as hard, but I'm not relaxing enough. And I see that out of balance. And I scheduled all these little mini breaks. Um, I did a lot of assessments over the weekend, sent a lot of people to the hospital that needed to go. Since the last time I was there, I came back, there were different people. I sent them back to the hospital because I do community work. And it is what it is. So when they called me and asked me to take new clients, I said, nope, not available. I need some time out, you know? And if you don't do that for yourself, nobody will. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think my thoughts are like this weekend, my mother-in-law came to visit and I literally was not on socials. I had stuff that I'd already, made up to schedule to post, that type of thing. And it was so refreshing to just like, we took a day trip to Door County and we just tooled around and we went to these little shops. We went to lunch and stuff. And at the end of the day, I felt so relaxed and so rejuvenated. I'm like, I didn't even feel bad. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm missing out because I didn't post, 3 times today and all the things. And I think being very intentional about that, people can read your energy. And so if you're telling people that you're in a business or you're a health coach or you're doing whatever, but you look like crap and you feel like crap and your energy is, way down there in the dumpster, then people are going to feel that too. And I think we can't be our best, we can't put our best foot forward in any part of our life if we don't have that rejuvenation within inside of us. So I think it's very important. And the little mini getaways are great, but I think we need to be intentional about doing it every single day. Like
Yes,
for
that
me,
I
I have
do.
it
The
scheduled.
daily stuff. I do the daily
Yeah.
stuff. Um, I just went with a girlfriend to a park the other day. We took some crazy pictures of each other, and we don't, it was the first time we actually met in person, but we've been friends and talking for a long time. And she said, I feel like I know you my whole life. We were doing these ridiculous poses, having fun.
Yep.
And we had a really good time, but the environment was such that it's so calming, being outdoors in nature and stuff. And we just went for a couple hours, and then I came back to work. But when I came back, I had all these messengers. Are you mad at me? You haven't returned my message. I was like, listen, I can't live on social media.
I'm allowed to be off for 10 minutes, people.
I
Come
wasn't
on.
around today. But it's like people are like scheduling my time for me, and I'm like, no.
No, that's not. And I think, that's the thing with like social media where everybody's back and call 24/7. Everybody knows what everybody's doing 24/7. There is no downtime. And a lot of times when people are building business, they're like, oh, I'm doing this for the time freedom. But when you're like, okay, you're on Facebook or Instagram all day long, you really don't have any time freedom at all. So who wants to build a business like that? I mean,
Nobody.
like you said, you work harder now for the stuff that's coming in the long run, but at the expense of your health, at the expense of your mental well-being, that makes no sense to me.
No. So I my mental focus is always in the same place. I'm always very centered. I find that things that put me off center have nothing to do with me, and I don't let them claim me in my life anymore. They used to.
Yeah.
I used to, my moods would vary around the people I'm with. I was recently on this TV show, and I was trying to explain to them that who you are, he said, you're very confident, but he said it like that I was too cocky or something. And I said, I know who I am and I'm okay with who I am in this part of my life. I said, if you're a happy person, you're not going to go and sit in a room full of negative people. I said, because my life and my peace are too important and I'm not giving that away to anyone.
Yeah.
I said, nobody's more important than that to me. So I find that sometimes if I'm not really in tune with what's going on with me and my body, that I feel gravity pulling me the other way.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, no, I gotta bring it in. So I think the universe sends you messages too.
Yeah.
Um, I like I mean, I work a lot, but I love my job, my professional job. And the community work, some is paid, a lot is volunteered. But I felt like God was telling me, you need a break, and you're probably not going to take one. So here you go. I'm going to give it to you anyway. And sometimes he knows, and I have virtual assistants and they're having problems in their country with social media and all this stuff. And they were telling me they can't get online. My career is over. I said, listen, drama queens, it's okay. I said, find the good in it. You need to rest. You need to do stuff. I said, it'll come back up. They can't take social media away forever. But
Right.
if they do, you have talents, right? So I find that a lot of times we don't buy into the power that we have as people.
Exactly. I think a lot of times I see people say, "Oh, who's feeling the collective energy today?" You have a choice. If you're feeling the collective energy is shit, then don't be on it. That's a good message for you. If you're feeling like being in the space with all these people is like bringing you down, then that is a cue that you need to remove yourself from that situation and not be in that space. And I think too, like it lands for me that thinking back of a time when like I was doing the 75 hard and I was like, oh, going gangbusters, and I'm doing the workouts twice a day and doing all the things. And finally, my body was just like, no, you're not. And I literally slept for like 17 hours straight. I would have never stopped because I'm like, oh, I'm doing the 75 hard challenge and everybody's watching me. And I'm worried about, if I don't do it, people are going to be like, well, you don't commit to anything and you're not capable, whatever. And I slept for 17 hours and I felt the best that I felt in a long time. So I'm like, thank you, because you knew that I needed that and I wouldn't have stopped myself. So, like you said, sometimes he gives us messages like, nope, game over. You're done. Take a break, take a breath, rejuvenate, renew. And then when I came back, I was like, why was I even doing the 75 hard in the first place? I don't need all that. I just need to take care of me.
It sets you up for sickness in the long run if you don't stick to it, because it is restrictive in a lot of ways. I have done the 75 hard several times and never did it online because it was more of a personal journey to me, because I wanted to do the reading. I found that when my life gets busy, I do eliminate some of those things that keep me mentally okay. Like that
Right.
reading, that time, that downtime. I take a train every day to work. And um I don't let anybody bother me during that time. I put on my headphones, I do meditation, I read. It's a very long train ride at my regular job. I'm not doing that right now. I took the summer off, but it's a very long ride. It's an hour and a half. So I get in my meditation, I get in some reading, and nobody's allowed to bother me. I don't answer texts or anything like that. I worked with a coach a long time ago who is great. He's great. He's been doing this many years. Okay. So And he had this thing about the first 2 hours of every day has to be for you. Before you turn on any device or do anything, have you done your exercise? Have you ate your breakfast? Have you done your meditation? So he had this structure that I still follow today. I'm getting a little off of it, but I'm finding my way back to it, where you don't answer emails only twice a day, like you, and only for half an hour when you do. So anything you haven't gotten to technically isn't important and you can automatically delete them. Right? So you only answer calls like twice a day. Sometimes people will text me in that window and I'll text them back. You probably realize that I've done
Right.
this even with you.
Yeah.
And then you'll respond, and then like 6 hours later, I'll come back and answer what you said, because I have to set those parameters, otherwise I'll never get done. I would sit when I first came online, I would sit stuck in my inbox,
Oh, wow.
feeling like I had to answer all these questions. And I said, this is not working for me. And I was very frustrated. And people do notice your energy.
Yeah.
And I like my energy. I need it. I don't want to feel zapped because and some of them would tell me their whole life story, their all of their problems. And I'd be like, wait a minute, I need a shift away from this.
Yeah.
You know, this is a coaching call. This isn't a messenger chat. If you want to work with me or you need that help, then let's get on a call about this if you really feel that
Exactly.
bad. But this can't be a messenger 2 hours later. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I love the conversations that I have with people. And I'm thinking of a couple in particular that I've been coaching through Messenger for like a couple years. And finally, I just got to the point where I said, I can't want this more for you, for your health and your well-being. Because she's like, I have these problems with my legs and I have these health issues and all the things. I said, you have all these issues because you're stuck up here. And I've given you all these tools. And I said, and I'm setting a boundary with you because when I talk to you, you bring me down, and that's not where I want to be. And my job is to uplift you and support you to change things. But if you're not willing to do that, then I'm not going to invest my time that's going to, eventually bring me down for something that you won't change and you can't admit and own for yourself.
you can't, it's just like the swimmer. I mean, I was a lifeguard as a kid.
Oh,
And
wow.
they told us if they're dragging you down, if you're going to say, buddy, kick them and go away. Like not hard, but use your foot to push them away and swim away. Because
Wow.
they would tell us 2 people dying is not helping anybody. Even when you're on a plane, you put on your oxygen mask first. You can't help anyone until you save yourself. So there are a lot of people that reach out to me who want that help. But based on their answers, that's why you have those criteria or answers. I tell them, no, I'm sorry, you're not a good fit for me. You
Yeah.
need to be at least a 7 out of a 10. When I asked you how important this to you, was to you, you told me 3 or 4 out of a possible 10. I said, so when you're really committed to yourself, then I'm ready to help you as well.
Then come back to me. Yeah. I think that's one thing too that I've learned through, taking care of myself and making myself a priority. I do my morning routine every single morning before I get out of bed. I don't touch my phone. I don't do anything before I do my gratitudes, my visualization, my intention setting for the day. I don't do any of that. And people, like you said, will be in your inbox and they'll be like, "Oh, you didn't answer me, for whatever, or are you there? Are you there? Are you there?" And it was very important for me to realize, you know, people who have that type of energy and want that thing from you are in a space where they aren't ready to accept that help. They aren't ready to own, what they really need. And I think like pre-qualifying who who you want to work with and what your energy is worth to you before you ever get into a conversation or have a call. Because I've in the past been like, okay, I want to help everybody.
You
And
can't.
it's like,
You
you
can't.
cannot do that because you're going to help everybody else in a half-assed way, and it's at the expense of your own health and well-being. And so I think that that's very important for me. I do 2 power hours a day where I'm like, I'm online 1 hour. I switch it up 20 minutes. I do, return phone calls or messages. 20 minutes I create content. 20 minutes. I do follow up with people that I've already, had conversations with and support in that way. And I do that twice a day. Otherwise, I'm not on. I don't need to be on, social media all day long. I get to go outside in my yard and do all the things and be in nature and all the things, which is what really, sets my soul afire. And then that, if you're not doing that, then everybody else is going to feel that. Like people can genuinely feel when you are just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
So I love like summer, especially. My backyard is my oasis. I spend as much time as humanly possible out there. People are like, oh, but you should be posting and you should be doing this. And I'm like, no, this is my wellness retreat for myself. Every single day I get to go in my pool and just lay in there and float around and not think about anything. And that's how I connect back to myself. And it's funny because I think part of, rejuvenating is getting to that space where you're not thinking like 24/7. Like you literally have, for me, I set a timer like, okay, Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes and I lay in there on my floaty and I don't think. And I've never been able to shut my mind down to be able to do that, but it's so important. And now that I've realized how to do that, I feel like I can conquer the world after I've been in there for 30 minutes, not thinking.
I like that. I don't worry so much about that 20-minute a day content hour, at least not for me. I'm in March of next year already. So,
I know that's a conversation we need to have. We keep
so
having.
I just, but I think of themes, and when you've been doing it as long as I have, you just, I don't run out of ideas. So I have different focuses and agendas every month to help people, and it's just recommitting it. And sometimes you can say the same thing a different way and it will finally click for someone,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, but I like that. And then I have 5 years of content that I could always repurpose. So if I was desperate, but I like creating fresh and new, so I do spend time on it, but more about me being upfront now. So I spent a lot of time creating and not really getting to make those connections. I connected on things like this, but I asked myself one day, why aren't you out front talking to people? And I said, gee, I don't know. And I said, well, then you better do it. Because if you don't have an answer, they certainly don't. But I think you do have to have that reprieve, have that time to relax and rejuvenate. And whether that's in your pool, if I don't have a pool, but if I had a pool, I'd be in my pool doing with my little
Oh,
floaties on
trip.
too. I would definitely be doing that, and just doing what you love, because it does help you in your business. You do come back stronger and you are more relaxed. And when people see that, people want what you have, right? So if you're not a good picture, they have nothing to aspire to.
Right.
That's how I look at it. If I wouldn't work with somebody who is angry and all the time, and look frazzled. My husband's laughing. My husband thinks I'm always angry because he asks me the most ridiculous. My husband's in the background laughing. He asked me the most ridiculous questions, and I just can't even fathom sometimes where they're coming from, and he doesn't get that. So
I love it.
enough on that note. Yeah.
One thing that landed for me when you were saying that, I think part of rejuvenation and part of renewing your spirit and, really taking that breath is self-reflection. Like sitting every single day and just going, okay, what have I accomplished in my life thus far? What really great thing happened to me today? How did I help somebody? How did I make somebody smile? Or what kind of kindness did I do today? And that is kind of like that pulls you back away from any of the negativity or anything that's going on around you. And it's like it just brings you back into center. Like, wow, I really have created some epic shit today. Or I really, I made that person at the grocery store smile because I helped her put her groceries in the car. Or, just something that you did today that made you feel really good inside. That self-reflection is kind of like a way to get away as well, to pull yourself back into center. And I really like that. And I do that every single day just to like regroup.
I love that. I think we're going to leave it on that note. You've heard these tips from CJ here. I think those are some really great tips that you share. For me, I just have to maintain that center. And I do find the things that are going around me sometimes. If it starts pulling me away, then that's my time to regroup. That's a big message. No, you know, so it's always about center. So I'm heading out of town and we're going to say goodbye to our fabulous audience. I'm going to regroup, recenter, and refocus. So have a great day, guys, and thanks for spending this time with us. As always, to your help.